Picture this. It's the 90s, and a young Sean Combs is hustling through New York's music scene, ready to rewrite hip-hop history. Known then as Puff Daddy, he was a visionary with a knack for spotting talent and turning beats into gold. Founding Bad Boy Records in 1993, he launched icons like Notorious B.I.G. and Mary J. Blige, making his label the heartbeat of East Coast rap. Diddy didn't just make music, he created a lifestyle dripping with swagger, from chart-topping hits to sold-out tours. By the late 90s, he was a global name, raking in millions and living a life most could only dream of. But even back then, some were starting to wonder, what was the real cost of that shine? Diddy's world was a whirlwind of glitz and power. His legendary white parties in the Hamptons drew listeners like Jay-Z, Mariah Carey, and even Leonardo DiCaprio, all mingling under chandeliers and flashing cameras. He wasn't just a music mogul, he was a brand, flipping his fame into fashion with Sean John clothing and a fragrance empire. Forbes crowned him one of the richest in hip-hop, with private jets, sprawling mansions, and a charm that lit up every room. Yet, whispers followed him. Stories of wild parties that went beyond champagne toes and velvet ropes started leaking out. Some brushed it off as jealousy, but others saw a shadow behind the smile. What was really going down at those exclusive bashes? By the 2000s, Diddy was untouchable, a king in a world he built from scratch. He scooped up Grammy Awards, starred in movies, and even ran the New York City Marathon to prove he could conquer anything. But the rumors grew louder. A 2001 nightclub shooting case in Manhattan put him in the headlines, though he was acquitted of gun charges. Then there were the quieter stories of volatile relationships and control that didn't make the tabloids. People started asking, was Diddy's empire as clean as it looked? Behind the glitz, a darker side was brewing, one that would explode years later in a Manhattan courtroom. And what happened next would shock the world. Asterisk buckle up, because Sean Diddy Combs' world flipped upside down when federal prosecutors dropped a bombshell in September 2024. Picture this, a hip-hop icon, once untouchable, now facing charges that could lock him up for life. Conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation for prostitution. It's the kind of list that makes jaws drop, and the Manhattan courtroom where it's all unfolding is packed with tension. Prosecutors claim Diddy wasn't just a music mogul, but the mastermind of a secret criminal empire, one that allegedly used his fame to trap women in a cycle of abuse and exploitation. But what exactly are they saying he did? At the heart of the case are allegations so wild they sound like a Hollywood thriller. Prosecutors say Diddy orchestrated freak-offs, drug-fueled sexual marathons involving women and male escorts, often in luxury hotels across state lines. Reports suggest he used substances like ecstasy and ketamine to lower defenses, then leaned on threats, violence, and even blackmail to keep victims quiet. It's a chilling picture. A man who built Bad Boy Records, allegedly running a darker operation behind closed doors. But here's where it gets messy. Diddy's team is firing back, insisting every single one of these encounters was consensual, framing it as a lifestyle choice, not a crime. The internet's buzzing with debates, who's telling the truth? These charges didn't come out of nowhere. Rumors about Diddy's private life had been simmering for years, but it was a string of lawsuits, including one from his ex Cassie Ventura, that lit the fuse. Prosecutors have piled on evidence, text messages, hotel records, even videos that they say prove Diddy's control over his accusers. Yet, his defense argues the government's twisting a complicated relationship into a crime. Fans are split, with some calling it a witch hunt and others saying justice is finally catching up. One thing's clear, this trial's about to get even wilder, and one woman's story is at the center of it all. Asterisk. When Cassie Ventura stepped into the Manhattan courtroom, the air got heavy. The R&B singer, once Diddy's longtime girlfriend, took the stand in May 2025 to share a story that left jurors stunned. Dating Combs from 2007 to 2080. She painted a picture of a relationship that was as glamorous as it was grim. Cassie alleged Diddy coerced her into what she called freak-offs, grueling, drug-fueled sexual marathons with male escorts that she says were never her choice. She told jurors these events, often laced with substances like ecstasy, left her broken, trapped by Diddy's promises and his iron grip. It's the kind of testimony that makes you lean in closer, wondering how someone so public could hide so much pain. One moment from Cassie's story hit like a thunderbolt. A 2016 incident at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. She described trying to escape one of these freak-offs after Diddy, she claims, punched her in the eye. Security footage shown to the jury backs her up grainy, but chilling. It shows Diddy kicking and dragging her back toward their room as she tried to flee. Photos of her bruises, flashed across the courtroom, drove the point home. Cassie said she lived in fear, bound to Diddy by emotional and financial ties, even as she tried to break free. It's a raw, gut-wrenching account, but Diddy's team has a different spin. Claiming texts from Cassie show she was a willing participant. Who's telling the real story here? Cassie's testimony wasn't just about one night, it was about years of control. She shared emails and texts where she poured out her anguish, begging Diddy to stop the violence and keep his promises. Yet, she admitted she kept coming back, drawn by his apologies and the life he offered. Fans online are torn to see her as a survivor exposing a predator, while others, echoing voices like podcaster Myron Gaines, argue she stayed for the fame. The courtroom's still reeling from her words, and whispers of other witnesses are growing louder. But another woman's story was about to take the stand and shake things up even more. As Cassie Ventura's testimony sent shockwaves through the courtroom, another voice stepped up to deepen the drama. A woman known only as Jane, taking the stand in Diddy's sex trafficking trial. This ex-girlfriend, who dated Combs from 2021 until his arrest in September 2024, bared a story that was equal parts chilling and raw. Jane described being pulled into what she called hotel nights, days-long sexual events with male escorts that she says Diddy orchestrated. These weren't parties, she told jurors, but exhausting ordeals where she felt cornered, pressured to perform under the haze of substances like ecstasy. Her words painted a vivid picture of a life tangled in Diddy's web, and the courtroom hung on every syllable. One incident Jane shared stopped hearts, a June 2024 night at a Los Angeles home where Diddy still pays the $10,000 monthly rent. She alleges he flew into a rage, beating her so badly she could barely move, then demanded she cover her bruises with makeup, pop an ecstasy pill, and perform with a porn actor named Antoine. "You're not going to ruin my night," she says Diddy snarled. Jurors saw texts from that night, her pleas drowned out by his threats, and photos of her injuries that backed her claims. It's a story that's hard to shake, yet Jane dropped a bombshell. She still prays for Diddy's healing, admitting a lingering care for the man she says trapped her. That twist has everyone talking what's really going on here. Jane's account isn't just about one brutal night, she described. A relationship where Diddy's charm and promises kept her coming back, even after she tried to leave. Texts shown in court reveal her wrestling with fear and affection, a mix that's left jurors grappling with her truth. Online, the debates raging. Some see Jane as a victim breaking free, while others, echoing voices like podcaster Myron Gaines, question why she stayed so long. Diddy's team leans hard on those texts, arguing she was a willing partner, not a prisoner. As the trial unfolds, Jane's story has raised the stakes, but the defense is ready to flip the script entirely. Just when you thought the Diddy trial couldn't get more intense, his defense team dropped a bombshell of their own. Everything, they say, was consensual. In a Manhattan courtroom buzzing with tension, Sean Combs' lawyers are fighting back against the heavy charges of sex trafficking and racketeering by arguing that the so-called freak-offs and hotel nights were mutual choices, not crimes. They're painting a picture of passionate, if messy, relationships where both sides knew the deal. It's a bold move, one that former prosecutors called Diddy's best shot at freedom, even if it's a risky long shot. This defense is flipping the narrative, and it's got the internet in a frenzy. The defense's secret weapon, a stack of text messages that seem to tell a different story from the one Cassie Ventura and Jane shared. These texts, flashed across the courtroom, show both women at times expressing excitement or agreement about the wild, drug-fueled events. Diddy's team argues this proves consent, claiming Cassie and Jane were drawn to the glamour, money, and emotional promises of being with a mogul like Combs. They point out how both women returned to him after breakups, asking jurors, if things were so bad, why keep coming back? It's a question that's sparking heated debates, with some fans buying the defense's take and others calling it a clever spin to dodge accountability. But this strategy isn't just about text, it's about rewriting Diddy's image. His lawyers say he's not a predator, but a man with unconventional desires, met willingly by partners who enjoyed the ride. They're leaning hard into the idea that these were complicated relationships, not coercion. And they're banking on at least one juror seeing it their way to avoid a conviction. Online, voices like podcaster Myron Gaines are amplifying this, framing the accusers as chasing clout. Yet, prosecutors are ready to counter, arguing those texts hide a darker truth of fear and control. As the courtroom clash heats up, something else entirely stole the spotlight. Asterisk, just when the Diddy trial seemed like it couldn't get any wilder, a familiar face strolled into the Manhattan courtroom and set the internet ablaze. On June 13, 2025, Kanye West they showed up rocking an all-white outfit to support his old friend Sean Combs. He told reporters he was there for moral support, but got stuck watching from an overflow room because the seats were packed. Kanye's cameo wasn't just a headline grabber. It sparked a firestorm of questions. Why was he really there? Was he just being loyal? Or does he know something the rest of us don't? Fans are buzzing, and this moment's got everyone rethinking Diddy's inner circle. Kanye is not the only big name tied to this trial. Witnesses have dropped names like Mariah Carey, Nas, and French Montana, painting a picture of Diddy's star-studded world. None of these celebs are accused of anything, but their mentions in testimony have fans whispering about a deeper Hollywood network. Posts on X are swirling with theories. Some say Diddy's parties were a front for something bigger, maybe even an elite cover-up. Let's be real, these are just rumors, with no hard proof in court. But the idea of A-listers orbiting this scandal has the internet hooked, with every tweet and TikTok adding fuel to the speculation. Could there be more to this story than we're seeing? The celebrity buzz is turning this trial into a cultural phenomenon. Kanye's appearance alone has spawned memes, reaction videos, and endless debates about loyalty versus secrets. Some fans argue he's standing by a friend, while others wonder if he's protecting his own interests. The chatter's only getting louder with every name drop, and it's shifting how people view Diddy's empire. Was it just a music mogul's lifestyle, or something shit? As the courtroom drama unfolds, one bizarre rumor's about to take things to a whole new level. Asterisk, hold up, have you heard the wildest rumor swirling around Diddy's trial? It's so bizarre, it's taken the internet by storm. Posts on X claim police raided Diddy's properties and found 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, supposedly tied to those infamous freak-offs. Yeah, you read that, right? 1,000 bottles? This jaw-dropping detail, whether true or not, has become the meme of the moment, with fans and skeptics alike losing their minds online. But let's be clear, this hasn't been confirmed in court, and it's pure speculation for now. Still, it's the kind of gossip that's got everyone glued to their screen, wondering what's really going on behind Diddy's closed doors. The baby oil buzz didn't just spark memes, it's ignited a full-on culture war. Commentators like Myron Gaines from the Fresh and Fit podcast have jumped in, spinning the rumor to argue the women accusing Diddy were chasing fame and fortune, not victims. On X, you'll find hashtags like #DiddyTrial trending, with some calling the oil story proof of a wild lifestyle everyone signed up for, while others say it's a grim hint of something darker. The frenzies even reached YouTubers and TikTokers who've turned the rumor into skits and hot takes, racking up millions of views. It's a viral mess that's shaping how people see the trial, even if the jury hasn't heard a word about it. So, what's fueling this chaos? This rumor's power lies in its shock value, and it's thrown gasoline on an already explosive case. Some fans argue it's a distraction, planted to make Diddy's accusers look less credible, while others whisper it's a peek into a hidden world of excess. Either way, it's kept Diddy's name trending, with every new post adding fuel to the fire. But the trial's not just about internet gossip. Diddy's team is fighting hard to shift the focus back to the courtroom, and what they're doing next could change everything. Asterisk, as Diddy's trial burns through headlines, his defense team is pulling out all the stops to derail the prosecution's case. They've filed multiple motions for a mistrial, arguing the feds are playing dirty. One big claim. Prosecutors allegedly pushed a false story about Diddy dangling Cassie Ventura's friend off a 17th floor balcony in 2016. A story the defense says falls apart because Diddy wasn't even in town. They've also cried foul over missing fingerprint evidence tied to an arson case involving Kid Cudi's car, hinting at a sloppy or biased investigation. It's a high-stakes gamble. If they can convince the judge the trial's tainted, Diddy could walk free. The courtroom's a battleground, and every move is making waves. Then there's a rumor so wild it's got X buzzing like crazy. Could Diddy be banking on a presidential pardon to dodge a conviction? Some posts online are whispering that his team's eyeing a get-out-of-jail card, maybe even from Donald Trump, given their past connections in the 90s hip-hop scene. Let's be clear, this is pure speculation, with no hard evidence hitting the courtroom yet. But the idea's taken on a life of its own, with fans debating whether Diddy's fame and old friendships could pull him out of this mess. It's the kind of twist that keeps everyone guessing. Is this a desperate hope or a real possibility? Adding fuel to the fire, Isuzi Inaito, locked up himself, has chimed in from prison, dropping cryptic hints about industry secrets and Diddy's case. His comments have sparked theories of a bigger Hollywood cover-up, with some on X claiming the trial's exposing more than just Diddy's world. The mix of mistrial drama and pardon gossip has turned this case into a cultural lightning rod, splitting fans between those who see a setup and those demanding justice. As the jury weighs it all, one question looms large. What's next for Diddy? This story's far from over, and it's about to get even wilder.